I think that's what it is. Y'all, I'm having such technical difficulties today, but Imma figure it out. Okay, hopefully I got it. Tracy, am I live? Is it coming through? Help your girl out, cause 'cause I'm so confused. This is now it says I'm live. Very interesting. So it was the difference in the connection from the 2 systems that I use. Man, okay, I think I'm good now. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm definitely working through some technical difficulties. All right, I guess I gotta re-say everything that I just said. Welcome to Freedom Fridays happy hour for the third time. I hope that you have not caught my all of my technical difficulties today. This is the beauty of when I do something slightly different. It's I gotta figure out all the kinks because I evidently had my system set up real well, and now it looks a little different. But yes, I hope that you get a chance to join me today. This is the first time I'm doing Freedom Fridays this way. Over the last year and a half, more than a year and a half, I've done Freedom Fridays where I do it at noon as a co planning event where we come together as a community of Black women to prioritize rest and fun, to schedule it in our calendars as a way of prioritizing it. And I am super, super passionate about that. And I really wanted to create a space where you don't have to come like when you first meet me that I'm not immediately giving you something to do. I want you to also have a space where you can come and feel like you can rest and talk about the struggles of rest and then be able to like move like evolve into some of the ways that are going to help you get out of burnout. So I wanted to create a little bit more space between the two. Hey Megan, I'm glad you got a chance to join. I was having all the most technical difficulties. So I'm glad that it seems to be working now. I'm glad to have both of you here. So yeah, I think this will be a really great space. I should move up a little bit. Let me sit this way. I think this will be a really great space for us to get together and just have a good time together. Talk about the things that make rest hard, and I can share some of the things that, as a lifestyle design coach, that I have seen help my clients, and hopefully start helping you. My goal is that if you're coming to me and you're deep in burnout, we really should like get you out of that deep of we want to get you out of the red zone and into the yellow zone before we start working together because you're not going to be able to really fully process or take action on the things that I have for you if you are like at zero, if you're flat on your face. And so I want to provide resources that help you like start healing, start on that journey even before you're ready. And I think this will be a great community to help do that. So yes, that's what this is about. And so like I said, I think that there are some things that I'm going to keep from the previous version of Freedom Fridays that will stay in the happy hour version. But some of the other parts will move into the paid community. And then yeah, we're going to evolve it. And I always receive feedback. I want to know what's going to serve you, what's going to be helpful for you. So I hope that you share that as we go. Hey, Tracy. Yes, I'm glad you came back because I definitely had technical difficulties. Thanks for being patient with me, y'all, as I figured out what the heck is going on. Um, I think it was my setup between Riverside and and YouTube, I it wasn't fully connected the way that it is usually. So I'm glad we're getting it together now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I wanted to pick a topic for our first conversation. And also too, if you have not yet gone and got your happy hour drink, please go get your happy hour drink. Mine is in my Cafe Cafe Co water bottle that unfortunately I dropped on the ground today and scuffed up so bad. But it's beautiful anyway. But whether yours is a lemonade, um, Hennessy. Listen, my sister loves some Hennessy. Whatever your drink of choice is, make sure you got your drink in this happy hour, okay? Whatever feels good to you. Mine is water. Usually it would be coconut water, but I already drank that for today. I gotta go get me some more. So make sure you got your drink in this happy hour, okay? Cheers. Chink, 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 chink. All right, let me take a swig. Mm. It would be my luck to pour it all down in front of me. So there's that. So yes, I wanted to pick a topic. And if you have ideas about a topic or if you have somewhere else you want to something else you want to talk about, bring it up. I'm using this topic to facilitate a conversation. And we don't have to stay on this topic. If we want to go talk about something else, we could go talk about something else. That's all good. Tracy said, "Girl, I got water. I ain't mad. I got water too, Tracy." And you got what? Cause you still are you still breastfeeding, Tracy? You can't handle alcohol yet anyway. If you still loving on our baby boy. I love it. How is he doing? Megan said, I have water and I felt like popping some kettle corn. Oh, girl, I don't like kettle corn, but I like regular popcorn. I'm always down with some popcorn. Stop playing. I might have to start bringing popcorn every Friday. Listen, Megan, I love that idea. I'm into it. Into it. I love it so much. When it gets cold, um, I finally killed my electric blanket. I had that electric blanket for 3 or 4 years, maybe 5, at least 3 or 4 years, and I finally killed it. So, I gotta get a new electric blanket, but even when it gets cold, I plan to be in somewhere like this. It might still be in this exact same spot, out here with my electric blanket, getting all cozy and cuddly. So I'm into that too. Let me see. Tracy said, "How about your video from last week, Wednesday?" Oh, talking about my life update. We could talk about that. Girl, I'm trying to get him off my girls. she's, she's tired. That's funny. He's probably like, nah, mom, I'm trying to be on these girls till I'm a full 3 years old. Listen, I have seen some moms, this one mom, her daughter had to be 3 years old. She looked like a whole, honestly, she looked like a 10-year-old attached to her mom's boob. But girl, she was breastfeeding for a long time. So she said, I need some comfort. He's aggressive. He's like, come here, mama. Let me eat you up. Oh, girl, I can't even help you. I don't even know what to say. I'm sorry. And girl, he just want to sleep, eat and sleep. Y'all, we're talking about Tracy's son, her baby boy, not her husband. Just so we're on the same page. I wish Leslie was here. She'd be all into it. I love it. I love it. Yes, we could talk about the stuff from last week on my life update. I also wanted to talk about the video from or the comment that Tabitha Brown made. Now I know everybody is going to cancel her. So I'm not trying to cancel her. I just want to talk about I want to hear you guys' perspectives around it, and I want to share mine as well because I actually do have some thoughts and have had some thoughts around this topic, and I just wasn't sure how to bring it up. So I think it's a good segue to be able to talk about that too. So we could talk about both of those things. That's already quite a few things to talk about. And Tracy, you also wanted to know how I do my goals every day. So I could make sure I share that too. So we got quite a few things to talk about. I love it. I love it. Megan said, I love your patio slash background. It looks like a hidden oasis, girl. It's pretty amazing. We got 12 acres of land, and my tiny house is gonna go right there behind this massive, absolutely massive magnolia tree. and it makes me happy. It literally makes me happy being here. I don't love Charlotte as a city. It has to grow on me. And I think after taking a break this summer and going to Los Angeles, I still love Los Angeles, but I wouldn't want to live there because I want to be where my favorite people are. So I love being here, but it's nice to come back and forth. I'm like a bohemian, a East Coast bohemian. Does that make sense? Because I like bohemian vibes, but I like my East Coast people. East Coast people are a brand of their own, and I love it. I love it so much. But all of that to say, yes, I'm very grateful for this spot, for this vibe. And look, the sun is like glowing right now. This is a good spot. And in a little bit, the lights are gonna come on the patio. Like it's the vibe. I'm not mad at it. Like this is beautiful. um, Tracy said, "LOL, yeah, the husband doesn't own those girls anymore." Right. I'm like, yeah, he what are you gonna fight your son off? Listen, I that is hilarious. Renee, hey, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Said, hey ladies, love the new setting. Yes, I love it too. I can't promise it's gonna be this every day, and yet I love this spot. I was thinking this morning I have had my eye on this tripod desk that I could use inside and outside. Like it's small enough that it can move around with me. And because I like actually having a desk. I don't necessarily like my laptop on my laptop, on the top of my lap. You know what I'm saying? So I thought about getting that, but I'm like, let me figure out all this some other things first before I start making all of that. Tracy said, I agree. I love the background. It looks like a hidden oasis. Yes, I love it. I wish I could take all the credit, but it's my best friend. She's amazing designer and she's been creating this oasis on this property. Like, some of y'all got to see it when I showed it on the live stream earlier, but like there's plants and ferns and there's a really nice shade and there's extra chairs. Like it's a whole vibe. And I'm gonna get a hammock and put it on the back patio. So sometimes I'll go back there with my electric blanket and I might do the live stream from back there as well. So all the vibes. I'm receiving the vibes and I'm showing all the vibes to y'all too. Tracy said, I took notes from that video last week. I was like, damn, Rashadai, I had struggles, but I didn't. I wait. I was like, damn, Rashadai, I had struggles, but didn't let us know. But you know what? You succeeded and was on a journey. You lived, girl. I had a whole bunch of stuff happening this summer. And I'm trying to the reason I did the live update, and I think I'm gonna start doing it like every couple weeks. I'm thinking it's gonna be I'm gonna do 5 weeks of content because the way I do it now is like I have one topic and I talk about the five different levels of it. And then I'm gonna do a life update so that I can show you guys like I wholeheartedly know that I am living my soft life. And and soft life doesn't look like everything going perfectly. It doesn't look like being rich. It doesn't look like not wanting to cry sometimes. Like it doesn't look like it doesn't mean that all of those things go away. I really have found that it is a mindset that I choose. Now, this is not in no toxic way, but I'm going to choose to not let the exterior things, I'm going to choose to not let your microaggressions, your crazy behind person over here, um, my bank account, or any other external factors limit the fullness of my authenticity or limit the fullness of how I show up. Like, I'm gonna do that regardless. So yeah, I'm on a rant, but that's where I'm glad. Thank you for yeah. I I lived. I showed up. Law. Y'all, did y'all see this thumb? Can you see it? I slammed this thumb in the door. That was one of the other things that happened this summer. And now it's starting to lift. This nail is going to fall off. It's not if it's going to fall off. I am not sure. this nail is going to fall off. I can now see the nail that is growing under it. And let me tell you, it is absolutely disgusting. Every time I do something, and it's my right thumb at that, and I look down and I see my thumb, I want to pick at it. It's like wanting to pick out of boo boo. My friend told me to cover it with a band-aid, so I leave it alone. But this is how my summer had been. And even though this is how my summer had been, I still also got to visit my tiny home builder in person and see this absolutely beautiful tiny house that made me so much more excited about everything that I cannot wait to experience with that tiny house. I also got to be on The Price is Right, which in the audience, which was a lot of fun. That episode comes out in November. You can hopefully you'll see me in the crowd. um, I got to go to the Hello Seven summit in California. Girl, I had no money for that. Jesus blessed me with that. Like I got to be in LA for the summer for that matter without having to pay for accommodations. Like I have had this is what I'm saying about soft life. The blessings when we allow ourselves to truly receive the things that God is trying to give us. But a lot of times, I can say for myself, I won't say for anybody else. A lot of times I'm s- so much I have to be careful with myself that I'm not trying to make push what I want things to be and how exactly how they should be and allowing things to be magical. And remember, I keep saying this over and over again, and this is how I stay connected to my goals and stay connected to my vision for the year. As I keep revisiting what was my word for the year. My word for the year is magical. Make space for this year to be magical. And I have been making space for this year to be magical. And in the midst of things being magical, that means there's also space for things to go wrong too. So are you going to spend more time looking at the things that go wrong, or are you going to spend more time looking at the things that make the year magical? I'm going to spend more time looking at the things that make the year magical. That's what I'm trying to do. That's when I talk about soft life, that's what I think the heart of it is around. And when you focus on that, your behaviors change, your mindset change, your lifestyle does change. Because instead of living in this scarcity where you feel like there's not enough time, there's not enough money, there's not enough energy, there's not enough opportunities, like that is the opposite of soft life, is when we are living in this scarcity mindset that says there's never enough. I'm not living like that no more. I'm not living like that no more. Okay. I'm done ranting. Let me see what y'all got going on in the comments here. Megan said, "Yeah, when you showed your backyard in the earlier video, I was like, wow, yes, girl. I wish I could take the credit. I can't. She is amazing at what she does, and she could do it in her sleep. Y'all, she's for our other business, she's working on We Create, for a lack of better way to say it, because we don't like just in the same way I don't like none of us agreed when Trump said black jobs. So I hate saying this, but these are black girl nutcrackers. You usually see nutcrackers and they look like little white girls, but these nutcrackers are in black complexions and they're absolutely beautiful. We did it last year. They look so good. We're doing another set this year and we're doing a couple special sets as well. So she's been drawing all of those, excited to get those manufactured. But um I got off on a tangent. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying that she's such a great designer. Like she just naturally comes with these things and it makes me so happy because it design is when you buy something, the designs that you buy are an expression of who you are. And I think that for us as Black women, we don't always find products that are an expression of us because they don't always look like us. We're not always represented. And so I love that she chooses to do products that represent us and all complexions, not just the light girls, but all the different complexions and she tries to do different body shapes. And different hairstyles, like all the different vibes. I love it so much. So I'm excited for those to come out. Okay, I'm done. I'm on a roll. Where was I at? Tracy said, you were real and vulnerable, but then you see how close proximity brings about blessings. It does. Sometimes and this is, I know I have a friend that was like, "Well, where do you live right now?" And I was like, "Well, today I'm in Charlotte." And sometimes for me at least, I'm not saying that everybody needs to do this, but I think when we open ourselves to allow blessings to come in different ways, that's what the proximity is. Cause I didn't know, I wasn't planning to go to LA this summer, y'all. It happened, it fell in my lap and I just went for it. So I'm saying that to say, like, whatever way that you think it has to happen, please do this right now. Like, squeeze your hands real quick and let all of that buckling down go. And then, like, relax your shoulders, relax your hands, open your hands, let it be free. Okay. Let it be free. Cause that's where the magic comes from when your hands are wide open. I could tell you that from experience for sure. Okay. Let me see. Aisha, welcome. I think this is the first time I've ever had you on here. And maybe no, I think you were on here before. Yes. I think you just changed your handle. Hey, welcome. We're so happy you're here. Renee said, I love your perspective. I'm still side eyeing that bank account and I mangled my fingertip in a juicer and life is still good. Yes. Yes, absolutely. I'm still side eyeing my bank account too, girl. And yet, if I really open myself to it, magical things still happen. Still happen. Like, I know if I really showed you, like, let you down in the to the depths, y'all be like, how is it that you live in this magical life that you live? And I'd be like, Jesus. Jesus shows up in the things that I teach in my program: vision, systems, and support. Jesus gave me that combination. That wasn't me, y'all. That was Jesus. He just told me to go out here and share it with y'all. That's what this is about. So, like, receive that there's so much beauty in letting him come in and do what he does. Listen, I'm getting off on a rant. Let me come back. Um, Aisha said, tiny house, price is right. LA in the summer without money. Hello, seven. Come through. Divine highest timeline. Come on. Exactly. Exactly. That is what this last 4 months has been like. And I didn't even tell y'all. So that was LA. And then I had a week in New Mexico. And when I got to this house sit, I had dinner with the couple, and she was like, "Oh, just so you know, if you go to XYZ town that way, that's the redneck town." And I said, "Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh Lord." I had to go over there to go grocery shopping. I went in there with my head down, bought my groceries, and came back out. I think it wasn't that bad. I think I was a little too dramatic, but I didn't go back over there. I was like, y'all not about to catch me out here slipping in New Mexico by myself. So I won't be staying in New Mexico anymore. But either way, it was actually an amazing trip while I was there. They had a rooftop patio too. My knee was swollen, so I didn't go up there that much. But it was a nice trip, and then I once I left there, made a pit stop in Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana, and I got to see my brother's new house, which was absolutely beautiful. And he's like, "Sister, what should I do in the backyard?" And I was like, "I don't know." So we started talking about pools and outdoor kitchens, and I think he should do an outdoor kitchen because he likes to have people over. He's Nigerian. This is my Nigerian side. Even though my American side likes to party too, but my Nigerian side likes to do it a whole different way. So I was like, an outdoor kitchen would be nice for him. But he was like, I like that idea until I saw the price tag. So we'll see if he does it. And then I stopped in Atlanta. And that part in Atlanta was only supposed to be 2 weeks. And then, crazy stuff started happening again. And I ended up having to stay another week. So listen, talk about divine timing, talk about magic again, but magical things happened in Atlanta. So even though I was only supposed to be there 2 weeks and then I was supposed to come to Charlotte, and within the reason I had to stay an extra week was I was driving and the wheel on my truck was making noises and I was like, wow, it literally sounds like my wheel is about to fall off. Like, that's how bad it sounded. And so I was already going to stay the night at my girlfriend's house because, in Atlanta, everybody lives on different sides of town. And I was like, I can't be going back and forth. And I wanted to spend like quality time with her and her family. So I went and I stayed at her house. And we made some calls about finding me a mechanic. And that next day, literally after I drove it, the next time I drove it, I was driving down the highway and I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds terrible, but I'm almost there. And of course, that mechanic is on the other side of town. In the midst of driving to that other side of town, the wheel bearings, I feel something on the bottom of my truck go pop, and then it bounces up under the truck. My wheel skirts, and I can't control the truck anymore. I skirt across four Atlanta lanes on I-20, and Holy Spirit stops my car right in the triangle between the on ramp and the 5-lane highway. And I was like, and this lady was pissed at me because she thought I was trying to cut her off. And I was like, do you not see? Do you not see the damage on my car? Like I I was not trying to cut you off, lady. So I skid across this highway. I'm completely freaked out, trying to get a AAA, but AAA is like, oh, your name is not on the AAA, just the truck, which is complete poppycock. That's a whole nother day. And long story short, I ended up getting a tow truck and they take me across town and it ended up to get me back on the road. It ended up being a $1,600 repair, girl. Now I just told y'all, your girl was broke. Jesus made that happen too. Cause I was like, listen, how we gonna get home, Jesus? How we gonna get home? Listen. Um, and I'm not saying that the only way that Jesus shows up is when you don't have any money. I do not believe that. I just think in this part of my entrepreneurial season, he's been really challenging me and asking me, "Are you going to still keep going even when you don't know how things are going to happen?" Talk about trust. But there was one thing that I said. There's a difference between trust and faith, and he's been challenging me in both. So yeah, stories. Listen, I'm getting off. I'm getting off. Let me come back to the chat. I keep getting off track. But yes, yes, come through divine highest timeline. Absolutely. I choose the magic. I see. Yes, I say. I love it. I choose the magic. I choose magic. Yes. And God is magic. Jesus is absolute magic. Because I'd be like, Jesus, how did you do that? How the hell did you do that? I have no idea. Listen, he blows my mind all the time. And I'm so seriously for it. Yes. Ashay says, seriously fighting the urge to take over this blessed chat. Resonating so hard right now. Girl, say all the things. We got space. Type all the things out. I ain't mad about it. That's what this is about. This is supposed to be a conversation. And I think the other thing about this, like, if I wasn't trusting in God, do you know how much more worry I would have? Do you know how much less rest I would have? Do you know how much less peace I would have if I wasn't choosing the magic? Like, rest in some ways comes with choosing some of the things that you can't see. You can't see rest, and yet you're choosing it. It's a feeling. I don't know. I'm getting off. But you see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going? Maybe I'm crazy. Tell me. Renee said, about to pick my son up from school, but it feels so, so good to reconnect with the group. Wishing you all a lovely week. Yes, Renee, we're so glad that you got a chance to stop in. I'm loving this happy hour vibe. And I guess if I'm sharing like my life updates on this part, maybe I don't need to do it the other way. I don't know. All I'm saying is I'm figuring out what this looks like. So if you have any ideas of like what would feel good in this happy hour, this Freedom Fridays happy hour vibe, let me know. I would love to hear it. I want to make space for it. Yes. Ashe says, peace upon you, Renee. Be blessed. Absolutely. Yes. Nice having you back, Renee. I love it. Trust. Surrendering is so hard for me. I'm trying to, but that's all I can say. But listen, surrendering is absolutely hard. It's actually one of the things that I wanted to add to my planner sheet. So I had a friend, I thought the whole planner was this way, but it was just like one or two pages in the journal. But it's just a little box I think I want to add it to my daily planner because I have a planner sheet that I use every day, and I'm going to create it. I'm going to create a journal of it that you guys can get as well. And you could at some point I'll make the planner page available for free. You could just use it on your iPad and reuse it as a template. But what it is it's flags, and above it the question says, how much do I surrender? And obviously, one flag is like, "Oh, I'm not quite surrendered today." And then 7 flags, or the full amount of flags, is like, "I'm fully surrendered today." And I think it's a really good checkpoint for us because surrender is not it's a choice, it's not something that happens by accident. And let me tell you, I would say most days, if I'm looking at 5 flags, most days I'm on 3. Some days I'm completely at 5. I'm like, "Jesus, I can't handle none of it. You gonna have to do it." And then there's other days where I'm at 1, where I'm holding so tight. But I think it's a good opportunity to check in with ourselves and acknowledge where we are in that day and go from there and ask God to step in and be a part of it. So I agree. Especially, listen, anybody that's up in this vibe, anybody that's a part of this community, understands that as a high achieving, recovering strong black woman, recovering workaholic, recovering in all of these ways, recovering superwoman, it is absolutely flipping hard as hell to surrender. You want me to say what? Say what? Say who? Like, it is so absolutely hard. And that's exactly why I wanted to create this space for us, because there is absolutely no shame in saying this is hard for me. That is real. It is absolutely real, and I struggle with it all the time. It is I would say that you don't ever stop, and I don't like to use the word struggle, but you don't ever stop having those feelings, you just get better at letting go faster. I don't ever stop holding on, but I get better at like letting go faster. I get better at giving that back to God because I'm quick to hold on. If I like to think of it as me and him sitting in a car, and he's driving, I'm quick to want to put my hands over on that steering wheel. He'll be like, "Girl, if you don't let go of the steering wheel," and I'll be like, "Oh, you're right, Jesus." I'm getting better at letting go of that steering wheel, and it's practice. This is all a practice. I also think living your soft life is a practice. It's not a one and done. It's something you have to keep choosing. I don't think this is ever something that we'll put on autopilot, especially not in our culture. Maybe if you're moving abroad and you're moving to a place that's more about rest and work-life balance, maybe like Sweden or something, I it would definitely that environment change would help make it easier. Um, but it'll still be a practice, you know? So I don't know. I'm on the roll. Here we go. Let me see. Tracy said, yes, surrendering is so hard. That's all I could say. I got it. I got you. I get it. Tracy said, take on a play, Hot Topic Fridays. Ooh, like the good old Wendy Williams days. Ooh, I like that. Maybe it's Freedom Fridays, Hot Topic Fridays. Or should I just change it all? The rest of it was Freedom Fridays and now it's just Hot Topic Fridays. Is that what it is? Tracy, what you think? Let me know. You know I love our ideas. Tracy said, damn powerful. How much did I surrender? Right. I love that little flag idea. That's why I want to put it into my planner. I think it's a really, really, really good check-in. And it might be on, I think I'm gonna put it on the daily planner page, because there's a daily planner page and then there's a weekly planner page. And then I think I want to do a monthly layout with a sticker where you can say, I rested today. I'm excited about that. And you can see how many days in a month that you've rested. And there's absolutely no judgment. It's just a celebration of you. Just like you can get a sticker when we are in our live stream, like this will be an opportunity for you to give yourself a sticker throughout the week. And then when you come on Fridays, you're like, listen, look how many stickers I got this week. And I'm like, yes, boo, yes. Like that's what I'm feeling. You see how it's come together? I love it. So yes, I started looking at some manufacturers for that today, actually, for the activities deck, the post-its, and the planner. I'm feeling really good about that. I think the activities deck and the post-its are going to launch in January, not the planner yet, but the I'm telling you that surrender idea, I think is a huge thing because it's a really good way to check into ourselves. Y'all agree? Listen, Tracy said, "Whoa." Ashay said, "Ooh, I need that. How much do I surrender?" Oh yes, yes. See, Tracy said, "Girl, this is your show. Whatever you want." Thank you. I just love different ideas, and I love bringing them together. So I'm always down. That's why I always ask you guys because I love when you guys have good ideas and it makes me happy. Okay. So what else from okay, so I love that. I'm actually want to write that down. No, I'm not. Am I gonna forget? No, I don't think I'm gonna forget. But Tracy, the other thing that you asked about how I write down my goals every day. So what I started doing with my goals is this started from reading the book Get Rich Lucky Bitch. And I really, really like that book because I think it's just as much about learning your sabotage cycle. It's about opening your mindset and your heart to truly receive money. Um, but then it's also about like simplifying some things too. Like, we just have a sense of overcomplicating things. And sometimes we overcomplicate our goals. Maybe some of the reasons that we haven't got our goals is because we've been trying to do too much. Oh. So the way that I started simplifying it based on what she has in this book, because she says, don't overcomplicate it. Just write down your goals every day. But I'm a nerd. She don't understand. I got goals on goals on goals. You know what I mean? So I had to figure out how is I going to do it. And the way that I did it, I just came down to like, what are the most important things to me today? And some of those things, as I accomplish them, I take them off the list. But then I just literally write them every day. And guess what? That same planner page where I said, um, this is where I write my surrender check-in is the same place that I write my goals every day. So I think I have 4 goals. Right now I'm writing them in a notebook, but I'm gonna start writing them on my digital planner when I update this planner page. But my goals right now are 5Ks a month 5K a month in my business, 300 leads a month in my business, 2 to 3 clients a month in my business, plus heal my allergic reaction. And I'm actually looking for a job, which is why I wanted to talk about Tabitha Brown's thing. So you see how I was able to list off those 5 goals? They should be simple goals. Like I want you to be able to say them within a easy statement. I know they're like make them measurable and all of that shit. But I'm like, listen, if you can't even remember the goal, what does it matter? Make the goal, choose a goal that feels something that it is a simple statement that you can really write easily and write on one line and write it every single day. Because just the fact that you're writing it every single day means that you are focusing on it, that you are giving it time and energy, that you are dedicating brain space to it. And I would much rather you dedicate brain space to things like healing my allergic reaction and connecting with my audience, things that you actually want to be like focused on rather than worrying about, what the hell Trump is about to do or whatever else is happening in the world. I'm not saying don't pay attention to those things, but those should not be the most prominent things in your mind. And when you write your goals every day like this, it's super simple. So I just literally have a journal and I just write them every day. So that's what I'm doing right now, but I'm going to actually make a space on my planner page where I write them every day because I'm looking at my planner page every day anyway. And so I just put that with my surrender check-in. How surrendered am I today? And sometimes I'm gonna actually really some days I might not even do that surrender part, but I know I'll do them on the days when I really need to surrender. That's the part. You know what I mean? I'll have it right there. It's gonna be a reminder for me in that day that I need to do it. So, Tracy, let me know if that answers the question. That's how I do it. That's what feels good for me. And I think it's what keeps it simple. Um, I am all over keeping it simple and doing and actually taking action rather than trying to figure out the perfect way to do it. So, okay, I love this. Let me see. Ashay said, Tracy, love the idea of Hot Topic Fridays. Can the name be Freedom Fridays Happy Hour stay the same though? Like, I like Freedom Fridays. I think that's for sure. I can put Hot Topic Fridays in the description. That can definitely be it. I love it. Thank you for that suggestion, Ashay. I love it. Okay, topics to rotate under the banner you have now, if that's comfy for you. I love that. I think that's a whole vibe. I'm into it. Yes, the topics could definitely rotate. Girl, I wrote down the whole three books that you recommended. All of three of those books are absolutely amazing. Let me tell you, I listened to them on audiobook. So if you're like you're not really a reader or you don't have time to sit and read, listen to them while you're in the car, listen to them while you're on the subway. I listened to them while I was driving back and forth across the country because I've obviously did that multiple times this summer. I listened to them while I was walking to the park to do my morning walk. So try it, like go to your library app, Libby, Hoopla, any of those apps, and reserve the book. All three of those books are absolutely amazing. I listened to all three of those books a minimum of three times this summer. So good. Just in case you missed that, that was on the I went a little bit deeper on the books. That was the YouTube video that came out not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. Such a good video. The Alchemist, Get Rich Lucky Bitch, and The Big Leap. Good books, y'all. So I'm glad that you like that, Tracy. I love hearing that. Let me see. Tracy said, I love Freedom Fridays as well, to be honest. Okay, we'll keep Freedom Fridays on my planner and calendar as FF for me. I love it. I love that. I'm into it. Me doing too much? Stop telling my business. Tee hee hee. I love it. Girl, I understand. That's why y'all my people. Cause I be doing too much too. I be doing too much all the time. Way too much all the time. So I get it. I love it. I love it. Ah, Tracy is laughing at us too. Kalia from Kalia, Canada. I love it. I'm so glad that you joined today. This is the first time we met you. Hey, girl. Thanks for joining the chat. I love it. Yes, there's so much neuroscience in writing and rewiring our brain. It is so important, y'all. I cannot tell you enough. Anytime you're feeling like your brain is chaotic, you need to do a brain dump. Let me say that again. Anytime your brain is feeling chaotic, you need to do a brain dump. And that is exactly why I set up my planner page the way that I did, y'all. Y'all think I'm playing? I'm telling y'all stuff I live. I'm not telling you stuff that I do in theory. This is stuff I actually live. I got a whole page. Can you see it? That is my brain dump section. This section is the part that's going to have like the surrender and writing my my goals every day. And then the rest of it is me brain dumping and getting notes out of my head so that I can reorganize because it's so much easier to prioritize when you can see it out of your head and down on paper. For one, because when it's in your head, it feels like it's bigger than it is. It feels like it's a mountain when it's really a molehill. It feels like it's look, a raccoon when it's really an ant. Like you got to get it out of your head, get it down onto paper, and then you could move it around and reorganize it and do all the things. And it's so much more manageable that way. Yes. Yes, 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 Kalia. Yes and amen. I love it. Okay, now listen, my goddaughters are getting home, and I know they're gonna want to come get up in this live stream. So don't be surprised if they come interrupt. Okay. I'm not surprised. Their dad might have told them to chill, but you never know. Okay, Megan said, I read The Alchemist in high school, but honestly didn't absorb what it was about. A reread might be a good idea. Girl, I love The Alchemist. So my favorite part, well, listen, I got too many favorite parts. I have so many favorite parts about The Alchemist. But I think the part that I spent the most time on and had some of the biggest revelation around was choosing my own personal legend. And I actually want to go back to the friend who recommended the book and ask her what did she choose for her personal legend because I would love to hear her thoughts around it. And here's the beautiful thing, like you get to choose what your personal legend is, which is I think is really cool. Um, so yeah, and your personal legend is like the way the book describes it. I wanted to write this part down, and I didn't get to write it down, so I'm gonna have to go back and write it down, and maybe we'll talk about it again another week. The next time I get access to the book from the library, it's also on YouTube, so I might have to listen to it that way. But um, I wanted to write down the parameters of what makes a personal legend. Can you hear my nerd tendencies coming out? Am I doing too much? I hope not. I can't help but truly define something. That's why I'm a good coach, because I can systemize anything. Absolutely. And I am an INTJ through and through, because we love us some systems, and systems are not worth it unless they actually help the person. Like, there are people who make systems, but they don't care if it actually helps the person. They just like making systems. Nah, to me, a system is not worth it if it doesn't help you become your best you. That's why systems are the second part of what I do when I work with you as your lifestyle coach, because it's not just about knowing what you want from life. If you don't have a system to help you build that, all of it's gonna fall apart because you don't have any regular action to help you build that. Okay, let me come back. Let me come back. Okay. Yes, The Alchemist is absolutely amazing. Megan, you can read The Alchemist on you can listen to The Alchemist right on YouTube. I want to say Leslin. Leslin was the one who said that they already have a recorded version right on YouTube. So y'all don't even have to wait for the library for that one. You could watch that one right. Y'all could listen to that one right here on YouTube. Okay. I have to find the link for that. Let me see. Yes, a reread is a good idea. Kalia said, yes, so excited to be here. Yay! We're so excited that you decided to join us today. Yes, brain dumping and mind mapping saves me. Girl, right. Again, y'all are my people because y'all understand what I'm talking about. These are not just, these are big things. These are simple things that make a huge, 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 huge difference. If it's not already a practice that you use, no shame. I just want you to see that I'm not the only one saying this, and that it is actually worth it to try it. And it's also okay if it takes you some time to get used to doing it. That you don't have to go from 0 to 100. Never, ever, ever am I ever going to ask you to do that. Try it out once this week. And if you like it, be like, okay, the next time I'm feeling like off, hopefully Rashida will come back to mind, and I'll be like, oh, I need to go do a brain dump right now. Yes, that's exactly it. I want you to go do a brain dump. Remember, y'all, I just said my American side of my name versus my Nigerian side. Mm, y'all, this water is bomb. You would have think I put something amazing in this water. It's just nice and cold. Okay, good. Let me see. Yes, brain dumps. Where was I at? Tracy said, I'm reading this book right now called Transitions, making sense of life's changes by William Bridges. Girl, let me write it down because you know I love when y'all tell me about a book. I can't even keep up with all the books. I need to put the book suggestions directly in my Apple Books, because then it'll send me a notification if the price changes or anything. Because I don't want to forget about it. Let me see. Where did I just see that? Okay, making sense of life's changes. Listen, that was a scribble. Um, by William Bridges. I'm into it. Thanks, Tracy. You know I love when y'all share a book. Share it, share it, share it, share it. Tracy said the best line for me was change is situational, but transition is psychological. Woo-hoo! Change is situational, but transition is psychological. I'm gonna have to go have a whole conversation with ChatGPT about that. Am I the only one who has a conversation about my books with ChatGPT? I be all up in ChatGPT. Like, listen what I just got from this book. And they'd be like, yes, boo, this that's because you be like this. Listen, Chat GPT be putting down some truth. I'm not mad. It is such a good way to process. Listen, it's another good way to brain dump too. I love that Tracy said brain dump is a must for me. It is absolutely a must. I love it. Megan said Freedom Fridays book club. That sounds interesting. That could be a vibe. The thing is, I don't know if we're always going to talk about books. We will definitely talk about books. And I need to get better at participating in the community book club. Yvonne and Kiyoka. I never know when they're gonna do it. I need to put it on my calendar. See? That's how I know stuff gotta be on my calendar because I will forget. Okay. Listen, I have a copy of the book. I just haven't reread it yet. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Keena said, just woke up from a nap. Did you talk about Tabitha Brown yet? No, we didn't talk about Tabitha Brown yet. You still got time, girl. Girl, chat is my therapist. Chatty it listen. You right? I use chat as my therapist. I have literally a third. This is Rashadat's therapist. Yes. Yes and amen. Uh oh, hey there. Naps are royal nourishment. Big up to you. Yes, girl. I love it. I love it. And then when I talk about being a rested queen, yes, those naps are royal nourishment. Take them naps. Do it. Only thing is, she doesn't give me the meds. Your chat gives you all the therapy except the meds. I ain't mad at that. I love it. I love it. Okay, Keena, you want? We were talking about the life update that I shared the week before last, and some of the different topics that I talked about in there. So we were talking about those three books. We were talking about all the stuff that I was going through. We were talking about how to make like oh, excuse me, y'all. That's because I drink that water. But I want all of that air out. Hot air out, freedom in. Excuse me. We were talking about what was the last thing we were talking about? We were talking about the books. We were talking about all the stuff. Oh, I was talking about how I write my goals down every day and how it creates so much focus. I really think y'all, I told y'all I love writing goals. I'm a person who believes in goals and vision. I am diligent about it, and I really love the simplicity of that. Like now, okay, bear like nerd out with me for a second. I'm actually going to make a video about this at some point. But the way I'm going to set up my calendar going forward is I'm going to set up my calendar for the year in a trimester setup. So it's going to be January, February, March. That'll be my first 12-week year. And then April will be a month of rest. Then May, June, July will be my second 12-week year. Cause have y'all seen that way of planning called a 12-week year? That'll be my second 12-week year, and then a month of rest. So that was January, February, March is the first one. April is a rest. May, June, July is the second 12-week, and then August, month of rest. Then September, October, November, third 12-week year, which will be the great lock-in. That's the timing for the great lock-in, which is the other thing that I talked about last week. And then December is a month of rest. So that when I get back to January, I can actually start the year rested. And I have three sabbatical times planned into my year where I can always reset. Like that's what I'm doing going forward. And within that, I will know, I will have my list of goals prioritized, and I will focus on maybe the first 3 to 4 goals, and I will write those down every day. And as I finish those goals, I'll add another one in, only focusing on 3 to 5 goals at a time. Because 3 to 5 goals at one time is a lot to focus on anyway, within that 12-week year. Do you see where I'm going with this? Like, I am so passionate about making sure we actually make time for rest. I want to make sure I'm having a season of rest every couple months. Not to mention, I'm still having rest every week. This is just also like blocking out a whole month of rest, you know? That's where I'm going with this for myself. You don't have to do that. I'm just sharing where I'm going with myself for myself, you know? So, love to hear your thoughts. Okay, let me see. Chat GPT as a therapist? Oh, how I need that. Girl, it is you the one thing, okay, here's my love hate with Chat GPT. With my business stuff, I want it to be a little bit more I want it to poke holes in it a little bit more, but as a therapist, Chat got the encouragement on lock, okay? And he'll be like, this, that, the other. Well, yours is a she, mine is a he. He will be like, da 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 da, and I'll be like, Chatty, I needed to hear that. Thank you. Like, I love it so much. You need a thread that is your therapist. And it's just having a conversation. And here's what I love about it, it might not give you something new, but it will reflect back to you some of the things that you didn't put together on your own. That's what a coach does. That's what I do as a coach, and I'm not worried about it taking my job because it can't see it. It can only reflect back to you what it sees, but I'm also going to see more than that because I have a bigger context than it has. But in the meantime, in the intermediate spots, like, it's such a great conversation, and I use it myself. So just yes, you want to do that, okay? Yes. Saying all the salutations. Tracy said, "Hey, girl, even your journal, she can analyze and get a deep dive with you." Exactly, exactly. You can. Here's another thing. I don't know. Like, you can put your. You could. Because I know some of us like to still write our calendar out, and I'm one of those people. So um, but you could take a picture or a screenshot of your planner and put it in there and ask it to analyze it for you. Like, it can digitize it and read that for you and give you feedback. Come on. Yes. Yes and amen. One of the things that I do a soft life audit. And in that we do an assessment of your time. I don't have Chatty do that, but we do that together, me and my client together. And it's a really good opportunity to it's one of those ways when you write it all down, you can see your time and energy budget and how you might need to adjust things. But after that, I say, here's some prompts to continue to have this conversation with ChatGPT. Like, yes, I'm all about it. These are amazing resources. Use them. Use them. Okay. I'm into it. Okay. Let me see. Without vision, the people perish, right? The Bible been saying it for years. Vision is so important. And here's the thing that I say about that. A lot of times people will tell me, but I have vision. But here's the thing, you got vision for work. Work is only one of the eight parts of your life. That ain't enough vision. That's why things are still unclear. That's why you prioritize work because that's the only thing that you have vision for. You have to have vision for the other eight parts of your life, which again is something that I help you work out. And I used to do this in like a group coaching program, but now I'm going to start sharing some of these resources that these are the things that I'm going to start putting into the um the paid newsletter where I give you a mini course on how to create a long-term vision around all eight parts of your life, not just about work. Because without vision, the people perish. And we are perishing because we're only envisioning what we do for work, not the other parts of our work. Okay. All right. I'm done with that soapbox. I'm done. Evidently, I like to get on the soapbox, get off, get on the soapbox, get off. It's okay. Listen, Kalia said ChatGPT is my BFF at all times. Yes, yes, he is. I like to call him Chatty. Hey, Chatty. Hey, Chatty Boo. Kina said, I mentioned in our session last year that I wanted to make the last week of each month full rest to have a slow vacation. Right. Do it on a regular basis. For me, I think a week every month might freak me out, but I can take 4 weeks together, especially if I'm going on a month long house sit. But I love it. Here's what I'm saying to you. whatever cadence of what you think rest should be. Like we used to think that 2 weeks was a 2 week vacation was enough rest. Not enough, not enough, not enough. And now, like exploring what different cadences that could be, like go push it further, push it real good. Okay. Like, and so if it is that you want a week of rest at the end of every month, do it. Mine is I like to get into a rhythm with my goals, and 3 weeks is not enough. So I need a good 3 months and then a month off. That's why I did that cadence the way that is. But you see, it's the difference of Keena knowing what she needs for herself and me knowing what I need for myself. Again, that's what I do when I work with someone as a client. I'm not telling you that you need to do my cadence. I'm going to ask you which cadence feels good for you, and I'm going to help you figure out how to make that work. That's what I do. Because I don't want you to just do it for the sake of thinking that this is the routine that you have to do. There is no such routine that you have to do. I want you to figure out how to make rest work for you. That's the whole vibe. Okay, I'm coming back off. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I love it. What? Wow, thank you. You're welcome. I don't know what what you thanking me for, but I'm glad. I'm glad I gave it to you. Yes and amen. Kalia said, I have to learn how to incorporate that way of planning. Yes, listen, let's talk about it. If you got questions, we can talk about it right here. If you want to go deeper and you want like resources and worksheets, that's where I give out that's what the paid newsletter is for. That is launching in November 1st. So if you're into that, like also this is a good time to join, because if you join now, you're getting all of this time between now and November for free. And the people who join before I launch it, they're getting an extra private join at the annual level, not the monthly level, but at the annual level. They're getting a separate private coaching session where we go through, and the vibe of that coaching session is any question that you got. I don't care if there's 90 of us on there. I'm going to keep going until I answer every single one of those questions. I'm so excited about it. It's gonna be a vibe. Like this will be, I think it's gonna be one of the funnest conversations I've ever done. I'm looking forward to it. So if you're into that, that is the newsletter. It's called No Hustle Required. It is a weekly newsletter, but if the subscription levels are monthly and annually, if you join at the annual version, at the annual level, then you get access to the monthly coaching sessions. If you join at the weekly level, then you get access to the weekly planning sessions, the co-planning session. So it's some beautiful dynamics that I make it worth it. You know what I mean? That's what we're playing with here. Let me see. Let me see. Ashay said, that soapbox get you clean, fresh, fresh and clean though. Soapbox on, homie. Soapbox on. I'm with it. Yes, we need that on a shirt. Soapbox on, homie. Just do it. Get on that thing. Let it get you fresh and clean. I'm with it, Ashay. I love it. Tracy said, mini chat has different names for different reasons. Nova, for when I want a cheerleader vibe. Come on, yes. Aspen for when I want daily accountability. Oh, I love it. I love these names. Sage when I want to go extra deep. Oh, yes, Tracy. I love every bit of this. I feel like you need to start sharing your chat GPT models with all of us so we can be a part of it. Listen, I'm into it. Meg said vacations are great. They just make me realize how much I love vacations and hate working. Right? I completely understand that. You know what? I have to say though, I don't hate working. I just hate working when it's not in alignment. I hate working when I spend all of my time doing something that is not in alignment with me. And even like making space to go back to a job, which I'm not, y'all, we're gonna talk about Tabitha's comment soon. I think this is gonna open up a whole nother can of worms. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Let's open all the worms. Open all the worms. Let's talk about all the things. Um, but yeah, I think when we make space to do things that, because we spend so much time at work. So if you don't have enough things that are balancing that out to create alignment in our lives, then no wonder you hate work, right? Um, so yeah. That's initial thoughts. Let me see. Tracy said, it's always good to go on vacations, but coming back sucks. I don't feel that way anymore, but I get it. I absolutely get it. But I think I don't feel that way because of the way my lifestyle is now. But I get it, y'all. And I don't want it to suck. I really don't want it to suck. Like, my vibe is to help us all create a lifestyle that we don't have to feel like coming back from vacation sucks. Just like Sunday scaries. I want us to all be able to live a life where we don't have to be afraid, like we don't have to have Sunday scaries or post vacation scaries. Like I don't want us to have those. I think that's my dream. That's my mission. Listen, let me write that down. My mission is to make sure. Let me change the color too. My mission is to end the Sunday scaries and the post vacation suck. So that vacation is not about it. I don't want vacation to be about escaping the suck. I don't want vacation to be about escaping. I want vacation to be I like to travel and so I'm going on a trip. I don't want it to be escapism. Listen, Siri act like he gonna help me with that. Stop, Siri. Cancel. Cancel. Go away. Lord have mercy. Sorry. Let me get back to that. Okay. Okay. Message retracted. Let me see. Where did I go? Where did I go? Okay, yes. Meg said, facts, Tracy. I don't always have to go anywhere though. I love a good staycation too. Hey, I'm into it. Yes. Anytime where you get to have more time to yourself. Yes. Kalia said, yes, it's all about balance. Alice, Chat GPT got names. Yes, okay, right. Tracy got all the names for the chatty. Tracy said, my ideal life motto: give me the money, but I don't want to work. I always say I want a sugar daddy, but with no commitment or having to do anything in return, just access to his bank account. Hey, I have to say, I think I've yet to met a man that would do that. But if you find them and he got a whole coalition, you go on and introduce us. Don't gatekeep it now, Tracy. If you find a man with that kind of coalition, share it with all of us. Okay. I love it. Well, when you have a job like mine, yes, it sucks. I get it. I get it. And I wonder though, and now here's my question to you. Would the job suck as much if you felt like you had just as much alignment outside of the job? If life was 50-50 of sucking at work, but 50-50 of alignment, would that suckage at work feel as bad as it feels? That's my question. Let me know, Tracy. That's an actual question. I really want to know. Ashay said, "Oh, I love Tab too. Let's talk about it. She deep and gets folks thinking sometimes. Excited to hear y'all's thoughts. I'm excited to hear our thoughts too. Yes, let's talk about it. Pause for the mission statement. I love you. Yay! I love. I love for the yeah. We had to pause for the mission statement, right? Everybody is different. It's like we all have different circadian sleep cycles and rhythms. Yes, we don't all need to be the same. And I'm not trying to help us all be the same. I don't think all of our soft life should look the same. I think the core thread between the soft life for all of us is that we figure out what does it look like to be fully in alignment and authentic within ourselves. And that the manifestation of that is going to look all of us, and yet the thread will be the same for all of us. That is what my coaching practice is about helping us create. That's what this is about. That's it. Um Meg says, "Girl, it feels like I spend so much time at work. I only have custody of my house for a short time in the evenings and weekends. Feeling like a divorced dad." Megan, Megan, you stupid. She said, "I only have custody of my house for a short time in the evenings." Girl, I understand that. I do understand that. And I don't even know that I have an answer for that other than we already know we're already working on finding your remote job. So, and it's funny because I'm at home a lot and I'm like, I got to get out the house, you know? So I get it. It just, again, this is why it is based on the person because it's not one size fits all. Rest is not one size fits all. Soft life is not one size fits all. Okay. Um, Tracy said, "Don't ask me how I'm doing. Just send me the money, right?" She said, "I don't need the emotional connection from you. Just send me the money. I don't care. You stay over there and just send me the money. I ain't mad, Tracy." Kalia said, "I love working, learning, finding solutions. Research is my love." And that's the thing. I don't hate working. I don't hate working. I just hate working on things that I don't like. On things that I love, girl, I can work too long. And I have to be I have to be careful with that too. Because sometimes I will get burnt out on my own dreams because especially as an entrepreneur, there's no cut off or cut on time unless I create them. And so I have to give myself better boundaries for myself with my work because I love it. So there's so many sides to this, but I love work too. Y'all hate me? Y'all gonna cancel me for saying that? Because I know a lot of people like, what you mean you love work? I love the work that I do. I love connecting with y'all. I love talking about rest. I love talking about soft life. I love talking about burnout recovery. Y'all gonna hear me talk about that from now until the day that I can't talk no more. So I'm a little scripturally old granny. Listen, that's what I'm gonna talk about because I love it. And I love sharing that with everybody. Okay. Um, Let me see. Ashay said, Tracy, you are a spiritual genius. For real, for real. I love it. Yes. Tracy said, well, something big is in play. Got contacted this week for a possible position with an agency that has a bigger budget than my current company. Heard really good things about work life balance. Come on. Tracy, like you said, something big is at play. Listen, talk about hands open for the magicalness to come. I'm sending you all the magic, Tracy. Let that come through and literally be the magic. Because the other thing that I found is when we're not realistic about what it looks like to live our soft life, when we don't actually put it down on paper and like make an actual vision of what it looks like to live our soft life, we keep moving the puck. And in my own experience, until I actually wrote down what it meant for me to live a soft life, I would leave the job thinking, oh, that's going to make it better. And it didn't. I would try to get a new job, get a new boss, thinking I would make it better. And it didn't. I left corporate and became an entrepreneur thinking that would end the burnout. And it didn't. None of those things, exterior things, are going to end the burnout until our mindset changes. And then everything that we do with that different mindset will then be the manifestation of that soft life. Like you have to change the mindset around it first before you start changing the behaviors, which is why I love lifestyle design because mindset is so much a part of it. It's such a thing. Okay, I'm nerding out. Let me come back. Let me come back because I'm totally nerding out. Okay. Yes, heard really good things. Tracy, again, I'm sending you all the vibes about that. I cannot wait to hear about it. You will have to definitely give us um you will definitely have to give us an update as that happens, okay? Okay. Kalia said we really have the power to redesign our lives. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do y'all know how many times I have redesigned my life? Y'all. Yeah. All the time. And it's so beautiful. Like you don't have to do the same thing forever. You don't. And that makes me excited. And if you're if I'm an adventurous kind of person, so I love to change things all the time. And if you want to design it one way and then just have it that way, that's fine too. If you just want to change what it is right now and design it, it's possible. And there's no age limit on when you could do that. You could do it at 40, you could do it at 70. I don't want you to wait that long, but you could do it whenever you want. Like it's never too late to do that, you know? Mm, let me see. Kalia, what do you do for a living, if you don't mind sharing? I can't wait to hear the answer to that. Yes. Meg said, but the job not being in alignment is definitely resonating because that's for sure what it is. I'm good at my job, but it's not what I want to be doing forever. Absolutely. Megan, that's how I felt about fashion. I was good at my job, but it was not in alignment for me. I can make something fit like nobody's business. You be like, girl, I didn't think that thing could ever look that good. Yes. That's the kind of magic that I bring to fashion, to that I bring to technical design. And yet I didn't get fulfillment out of it. This brings a whole new thing out of me. Now here's the thing. My job in fashion used some of the same skills that I use as a lifestyle coach. Problem solving, creativity, but I get to bring it in a different way, in a way that actually uses more of who I am and is more alignment with me than what tech design was, ever was. So alignment is such a big part of it. And being able to create a life of alignment starts with knowing very deeply who you are. And I think we all say, "Oh, I know who I am." But let me tell you, there's a deeper understanding of you, and it's okay to not know that yet, but know that it's there. Like the more that I get into personality tests, I learn about human design, like all of these different things. There's so many great, amazing resources that started with Eastern mindset from centuries ago that help us understand ourselves better. Like tap into every single one of those resources. Again, all of these things are do things that I do with my clients when we get into regular sessions. So listen, okay, I'm coming back. And I'm also going to be sharing all of these things inside. I'm going to be sharing like these are the different tests that I took. This is why I loved it. This is what I learned from my about myself in the midst of that. All of those things I'm going to be sharing inside the newsletter. Listen, I got so much stuff to share in this newsletter. That's why I speakly. Um, I love it. I love it. Okay. Tracy said, Ashay, she's trying to be spiritually aligned. Yes, I love it. Megan said, I love being able to help people, but my current work environment ain't with it. I get that. And sometimes you do have to change the environment. But also, sometimes, here's the other thing, when you can't immediately change the environment, the other thing that I'm learning to do is to find ways that I can help people outside of the work environment. Because my whole life doesn't have to surround around work. So that just means my work life balance is making sure that things outside of work use those other parts of me that I don't get to use inside of work. I would love to hear your thoughts about that. Tell me what you think. Okay. Meg said, okay, now I just read that from Meg. Kalia said, this is Findom. I don't know what Findom is. Tell me. I love it. And Shay said, Kalia, 100, no, 1,000% valid. Alignment is essential. Best and highest conditions for true gifts. That's good work. That's calling. Yes. Now here's my thing. I think the other thing about alignment too is because some people talk about purpose and they're like, I have to live in my purpose. I think if you're living in alignment, your impact will follow. I don't think you have to wake up in the morning and say, what impact am I going to make today? I don't think you have to do that. I think you're doing too much when you're doing that. Instead, if you wake up and say, am I living in alignment to my values today? Then your impact will come. I think sometimes we put the cart before the horse when we're saying, I have to live in purpose, I have to have an impact. I think that's the cart, but the horse is when we just live in alignment and then your purpose will show itself. Your impact will show itself as we do it. I don't know. These are my thoughts. You tell me on the other side. I want to know. Okay. Um, Kalia said, I want to be a financial dominatrix. Oh my gosh, Kalia, I'm into it. Come on. Y'all, let me tell you, while I was in Atlanta, Atlanta be having some interesting things. I think I met a man that was proposing like a lavender marriage because he pretty much was like, I'm not an alpha. I'm quite fine with you leading the relationship, but I could pay the bills. And I was like, what kind of matrix did I step into? The only thing that I found with that was, as being a beta personality, he was too easy to make excuses. And I don't do well with excuses. So you see that didn't last. That's a whole nother topic. Listen. I love this. I love this conversation. Tracy said, see, transition equals psychology. It does. It starts with our mind. It really does. Come on, Tracy. Yes to new and better opportunities. Absolutely. Girl, that designing your life is my second book on my reading plan. Come on. It's a good book. This is the thing, y'all. Kalia said, yep, Picasso is one of my favorite quotes. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. That's a good quote. I have not heard that one before, and I like it. You know what another quote is that's along that same lines? Dolly Parton says, figure out who you are and do it on purpose. That is absolutely my favorite quote. Figure out who you are and do it on purpose. And I think there's so much beauty in that, is because we think that we're supposed to come out of the womb already knowing who we are, but getting to know who we are is a journey. But the more that we learn about ourselves, the more that I learned that I'm a systematic person, the more that I learned that that I'm a big picture person, the more that I learned that I'm not really detail oriented, that I could do the details, because I've had a career in it, but I really am free when I'm in the big picture. The more that I learned that I'm more of a thinker rather than a feeler, the more that I learned these different things that I've learned from the Myers Briggs, the Enneagram, like all of these different things, my money archetype. Every time I learn one of those things about me and I get to use it with intentionality, it creates a new level of freedom and understanding of who I am, and intentionality between me showing up and being my most aligned and authentic self. Again, that is what I believe looks like to live our soft life. Listen, I'm into it. Okay. Tracy said, girl, I'm doing that viral personal curriculum thing, and I'm focusing on 3 books, and that's my second one. Girl, I did not hear of the viral personal curriculum. I'm into it. Let me look it up. Maybe we could talk about that next week. Viral personal curriculum. I got to put that in another color. Viral personal curriculum. Tracy, was that viral on YouTube, on which platform? On TikTok? Tell me the things, so I know where to go look for it. Let me see. It really takes intentional strategy. It does, which is why I kept my name at Your Dream Strategist, because the strategy behind it, I don't think you need a plan. I think you need a strategy. A plan makes you feel like you have to do this in a certain order. A strategy is like, I need to hit these specific parts, but depending on how things go, this might pan out. This could come out a couple different ways. These might end up in a few different orders. And I think that's why I love strategy more than planning. Most people think that I'm a planner. I'm not a planner. I do not. Planning is detail oriented. Planning is getting down into the details. Remember, I just told you I'm a big picture person. I can get into the details if you want, but Lord, I hate it. I hate it. Instead, I want the strategy. I want the high level clarity. And then from there, I like to figure things out as I go. Once I have the high level strategy. Strategy is an intentional thing, and it's so good. So if you're struggling with planning, then you might want to consider strategy. Okay? Yes. Okay, I'm coming down. Tracy said, see, Rashida, Sugar Daddy was trying to recruit you. He was trying to recruit me. And let me tell you, I was down for it until he started coming up with excuses. So remember, I told you in Atlanta, that's where my truck broke down. And that was supposed to be our first date. Why is it that he canceled our first date when my truck broke down? Because that was too much for him. I said, boo, my life is an adventure all the time. If you can't handle my truck breaking down and I could still show up for this date, and that was too much craziness for you, then you ain't gonna be able to hang with me. And I was like, okay, well, it was nice to try. Best of luck to you. Farewell. It sounded good, but you couldn't follow through. So, oh well. He tried to recruit me, it didn't work. Ashay said, yes, making space for creativity has helped me a ton. I have been working freelance since summer of 2020 and going to business school. Yes. Having space for creativity and mind space for it, y'all. That's again, we already talked about the brain dumping. It's important. So I'm glad, yes, brain dumping. I love that you've been doing that. Kalia, I'm stealing that. Yes. Steal it. Isn't that a really good one? I need to copy it here. You know what? Let me screenshot it so I could find it. Because I'll remember to go back and look through my screenshots. That is a really good quote from Picasso. I love it. Ashay said, time and space just to be. Journal, rest, and act wild, woman artist. Yes, it's been a trade off of money wise, but it's worth it though. Yes, yes. And I'm sending you all the blessings that in the midst of you being courageous enough and trusting to step out in that space where it feels that trade off now, excuse me, that it makes you money in the future. That's what I'm believing in too. Because I left a great paying job to be a wild woman, and I love it. And it does make the trade off on money a little hard sometimes. And yet, I felt more soft in this season than the money that I had. Ooh, let's talk about that. So many people make us feel like living our soft life is about having more money, but I felt more soft in this space where I'm not fighting to have money all the time. What how did you say it, Shay? You said time and space to just be, journal, rest, and act wild woman artist. Yes. Yes. Woman X. I love that. Come on. It's a beautiful place to be. I'm into it. Okay. Oh, Tracy said that was on TikTok. Let me write it down. Of course it's on TikTok. Because I feel like that's the only the only place that things actually go viral right now. Okay. So Tracy, did you go look up the Great Lock-In on TikTok as well? Elizabeth Jean gave up free money. We're going to win. Hey, we're rooting for you. Yes, I'm into it. You know what else I write down with my goals every day? I'm a lucky person. I'm a lucky woman. I was writing I'm a lucky person. And then I said I'm a lucky woman. I write that down every day. Elizabeth Jean. Elizabeth Jean. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing, Tracy. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Tabitha Brown's comment. So let me be transparent. I did not watch the video. I could not find the video. All I could find was all the comments about the video. I couldn't actually find the video where the comment was made. But evidently, Tabitha said something to the effect of, it's time to get a job. And she was talking to Black women. And there have been a lot of different perspectives around it, around that mindset of it's time to get a job. I would like to hear your thoughts. Here is what I'm going to say is is oh wait a minute. Gave her free. Oh, I just Tracy said reread it about your dating life. You'll get the joke. Yes, I got it now. Gave up free money. We were going to win. Tracy. Tracy, I got it. You so silly. We were gonna win. Um, listen. Oh, and then Shay gave a song about being lucky. Okay, I like that too. Listen, I love all the resources. We need a book list and we need a playlist. I'm gonna have to. Imma have to figure out a way for y'all to send that to me, and then I'll create it, and I will create that, and I'll update it regularly. Yes, I love that idea too. Okay, so tabs conversation. Here are my thoughts. When she said it's time for Black women to get a job, and my understanding is that she also came back out and clarified what she said. I am not saying that Tabitha is right or wrong. What I am gonna say is I think that it felt a little tone deaf in a in an atmosphere where we're seeing articles and statistics um about how there's 300,000 Black women being pushed out of jobs since January. And we're now saying, go get a job. But what jobs are we going to get when we are being pushed out? That was the part to me that felt tone deaf. On the flip side of that, as an entrepreneur, I also understand that, like, if you're doing all the things, I have been doing all the things for 6.5 years, and I'm in a season where I'm actually seeing things go well for my business. Like my TikTok is growing, my following, my YouTube channel is growing, my email list is growing. Like I'm excited for the progress that I am, this uptick in momentum that is happening in my business, and I love it. And yet, I also need health benefits. 'Cause I don't know, we didn't talk about this part, but over the summer, I also had hives. I started getting chronic hives. I've learned more about what those chronic hives are from, but I went from, like, being fine to I've gotten almost a new, uh, bloom, a new reaction of hives almost every single day since the 4th of July, y'all, this summer. It's it's mid-September. That's July, Se August, September, that's 3 months, 90 days of chronic hives, and I need health and benefits. I also need income so that while things continue to build in my business and I continue to make offers at different levels that allow me to serve our community at the different levels. Because here's the other thing, it wasn't right for me. It felt tone deaf for me to keep trying to sell only a high ticket offer when I know that there's 300,000 Black women who have lost their jobs that I still want to serve. So if I still want to serve my community, I have to have levels in which I can serve my community at all the different levels that they're at. I'm not saying I'm going to give everything away for free, but that's why I created like the newsletter that for $97, you can get a whole year of coaching with me. Not at the same level as my tier 4 offer, but you're going to get something that is really going to be valuable, that's going to help you make this shift from burnout to soft life. And I think we as creators have to be cognizant of the things that are happening to our community, not just the things that we want to sell or not just our own beliefs. And I think that's the part that made Tab's comment feel tone deaf because, on one hand, as an entrepreneur, yes, I am looking for a job because I need the income to balance out the other things. And I don't think I agree with her. There's absolutely nothing wrong with looking for a job. Like right now, I drive Uber. After I get done with this, your girl is getting ready to go drive Uber to balance out the income of what's going on. Because I want to keep doing this. I want to keep serving my community. I want this community to keep growing. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to make that happen. Even if that means I got to get a job and I'm doing both while I'm allowing this to grow. And I'm going to do all of that and still get rest. That's where I'm gonna take it even a step further. I'm gonna do all of those things and still get rest. I think I think we just have to be cognizant of sometimes. Well, for one, it's hard because her content, her comment was taken out of context. Y'all can tell me if I'm right. And I'm interested to read your thoughts in the chat. So please share your thoughts. But yeah, I think sometimes we just have to think about all of the different contexts in which our community that we're speaking to is going through. And maybe she's around a lot of Black women that aren't dealing with being pushed out of their jobs. Maybe that's not a context that she has had to interact with. But that is a context that I understand. And that was the part that I was like, not quite yet. Not quite on. Let me see. Okay. Tracy said, yep, 350,000 pushed out since January. It's a lot. It's a lot of us, you know? Exactly. This system is screwing us. It absolutely is. As Shay said, basking in your good business juju, and it's rubbing off on me. Thank you. Yes, I'm sending it all the way. Yes, let it all be received. And this is the other thing too. Um, the other reason why I'm not mad at Tabs, listen, while we might call that canceling her, girlfriend is it's still free marketing. It is still free marketing. It is still putting all of that is getting her put in front of new audiences. And those audiences get to choose whether they support her or not. And I could tell you there's a good amount of people who are still supporting her, some that are in the middle, and some that are absolutely not. But at the end of the day, that's good marketing. So I'm not mad at her. I mean, even while it was tone deaf, the point of marketing is to attract and repel. The people that understood what she was saying, even though they might not have agreed with it, were attracted to it. The people that understood what she said and agreed with her were attracted to it. The people who took it out of context, the people who didn't agree with her were repelled. They're not her people. She shouldn't be mad at that. Let's talk about it bit from a business perspective, y'all. Let's talk about it that way too. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just saying this is what my perspective is when I think about it in the context of the people that I'm speaking to, the person that I am, the life that I'm living. The part for me was that it felt a little tone deaf. Am I mad at Tabs? Nope, not at all. Not at all. Megan said, I haven't watched the video either, but based on the comments I've seen, Tab made it seem like it was so simple to just go out and get a job. And job hunting isn't the same anymore. It's not. It's absolutely not. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I remember when I could put my resume in and I would immediately get hired within days. That's not what it is right now. That's not what it's like. Not at all, especially if you have a forward facing business. They might have immediately called you back because of your resume, but then when they started doing some research on you, they ghost you. I've had that too. Which means you think I should hide my business and who I am? This is what I do in my personal time. Why do you think that should keep? Why should I have to hide who I am to get a job with you when I know I'm gonna show up and do my job? Because I always work and do my job. That shouldn't keep you from hiring me. Having a personal life should not keep you from hiring me to do the work that I am clearly good at doing. Ooh, that's a whole nother topic. But yes, Kalia said, I resigned last spring as a school counselor and 504 coordinator at a public Montessori school that was privileged and inequitable. I get that. I get it. And I bet you living free too. Come on, girl. Living your best life. Receive all that freedom, girl. I'm into it. Tracy said, I'm not upset at Tab. Honestly, I didn't know that the statement was made, but knew about the stats since I had built a campaign around that Black women were being unemployed. Yes, that makes sense. I didn't know about it until I started seeing the wave of all the Black women being upset. I didn't know about the comment either. And it's funny, I kind of hate when we get upset at each other for taking a stance on something. Even if we don't agree, I don't think we all need to believe the same things. I don't know. Because I don't necessarily think it's a problem of having a different perspective than somebody else, but I also don't think she deserves to be canceled for her perspective either. I don't know. That's just my thought about that part specifically. Kalia said, I learned more than I could ever have imagined with clear folk parents. Getting private psychological evaluations that are reviewed all the time. Wow. Yeah, I'm imagine I can, oh, yes, I can see that. Kalia said, but I'm determined to design my own career with all the intellectual collateral I've gained. Yes, absolutely. Like, especially with you, with the background of being a teacher, I don't have this background of having a certificate as a teacher, but I always thought about what if I could create a lifestyle design course for teenagers where we could learn how to create vision and understand and start learning how to really connect to the deeper parts of who we are and understanding how to do that deep dive more than I just want to be a fireman and when I grow up. Like actually learning what our personality is and how we can leverage those different parts of ourselves so that we can start figuring out what it looks like to find an aligned career as in high school versus like getting burnt out from our job and then finally deciding to redesign our life. Like, what if we could get some of this right the first time? I don't have the certificate to go and, going into a school, you have to have certifications and all of the things to be able to do that. But I think as a tutor, a high paid tutor for that matter, you could do that. You could bridge that gap. I mean, that's my 2 cents. You might not have the same passion, but it's things that I've thought about. And I'm just saying that to say, whatever there are so many ways that you could take all of that career, that all of that experience and make that into something that you could do on your own. I also I'm not about privatizing education, and yet it seems like the only way our kids are really going to get educated is if it's privatized, which is so sad. I don't wanna believe that because my goddaughters actually go to a school where we've seen more privileged white people actually put their kids in public school so that their money isn't going to private schools, that it's going into the community schools, and I was very grateful for seeing that too. I think we should do that as which Black people, white people, all of that, like, actually, instead of trying to take your kids out, put the money back into public systems so that all of us could get it, but you know how selfish people are. Listen, listen, that's a whole nother conversation. Um, Let me see. As Shay said, Tracy, I hear that. System wasn't built for us. And yet, in spite of limitations, the universe has our back and plans to prosper us. The loving intelligence that sustains life is on our side. Yes and amen, Ashay. Yes, it most absolutely is. I believe that with all my heart. And someone who's Megan said, as someone who started and stopped their job search multiple times, it's frustrating AF. Ghost jobs, scam jobs, getting ghosted and or rejected and not knowing why, crying face. It's hard. And to say, well, you could just get a job. Again, that's the part that sounded tone deaf. I agree, Megan. I agree. And I know listen, Megan, I've known you for going on 2 years now, a year and a half. I know how much you've been in and out of this and trying to gain the momentum on it. And yet it's hard. It takes so much, it's emotionally taxing to apply for all of these jobs. And they don't even tell you when you're rejected. They don't even tell you that they hire somebody else. That's the part that pisses me off. Like, man, you can't even respect me enough to take my email when an automation and put it into an email list that'll at least say send an email and said this position is filled. You can stop hoping that it's you. Wow, you can't even give me that. Man, I hate that. I hate that for us. I really do. Kalia said determination. I spelled it out. Determination. Yes, yes. Sounds like you decided that life is for you, worthy whole, and complete. Yes. I think we should keep choosing that every single time. Every single time. And sometimes we have to be creative in how we choose that because the opportunity, while a lot of us want to say, well, just quit your job and start a business. That's not everybody's path. Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. And let me tell you, not everybody should be an entrepreneur. Half the time, I don't think I should be an entrepreneur. Okay. So if that's not your path, does that mean that you don't get to have that wholesomeness, that you don't get to have that freedom? That's where I'm saying soft life doesn't have to look the same for all of us. And alignment is not going to look the same for all of us. And that's why I was saying if you have to spend this much time at work and it might not be something that is fully aligned, how do we create a space where you can still get that alignment despite what's happening at work? That is again what I talk to my clients about on a one-to-one level because I do believe there is an answer to that. I have helped my clients figure out that answer for themselves when we work together. It is a longer process. This is not a one and done session type thing because it is a conversation, a trial and error. Because sometimes the things that we initially think are going to create alignment for us, we realize that we over romanticized it and that we adjust it, and then we actually find things that do fully bring alignment. So it is a journey, and yet there is a space where we do find that alignment even while working that job. Maybe you think I'm crazy. Maybe you want to cancel me for that, but that's what I believe. So I'm not gonna be sad. Um, okay. Meg said, I've always worked for other people, and I think I've glamorized working for yourself. I know it takes hard work, but I think I just saw the location and time freedom and not having to answer to others. I get that. A lot of times, a lot of people romanticize the idea of just starting your own business. And there are some beautiful things to it. But let me tell you, I'm going to say the first 10 years, 10, 1 0, that's 365 times 10. Okay. 3,650 uh days of the first 10 years of it being kind of hard. And the people that automatically like skyrocket, for one, you have to see, you have to take a look back. How many businesses did it take for them to get to that? Because that business might have skyrocketed in a year, but they might have started 4 or 5 other businesses before that that all plummeted, that all failed. Like this is the side of being an entrepreneur that we again we don't think about when we're romanticizing. Oh well, I could just quit my job and start my own business. And here, I'm not telling you don't do that. I'm just wanting you to take off the rosy glasses and understand what you're getting into, so you don't get out here and be like, say what? How did I end up here? I don't want you to jump from the pan to the fire. I want you to understand what you're getting yourself into. Because for some of us, that is the road. That is my road. But it doesn't need to be your road to find freedom. If you're doing it because you think that's the way to find freedom, starting your own business, in my opinion, does not create freedom, it creates autonomy. Autonomy and freedom are two different things. You can get freedom in both perspectives, but you get more autonomy when it's your business and you're controlling your time. Okay, I'm gonna come off of that. But I agree. I agree, Megan. Um, as Shay said, real and valid, Meg. You right. Megan said, but you need to build up your business slash clients. So you might not be able to quit your day job right away, or you have to find a day job. I think that's what Ted was getting at. And I agree. It is. That's why I said, y'all, I'm about to go drive Uber tonight. I've been looking for a full-time job so I can get benefits because your girl needs more support in dealing with the perimenopause that I'm dealing with and the hives. Um, And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And yet, I didn't feel like there was a space to have this conversation until Tab brought it up. So I actually love that she brought it up because I think, again, I think when y'all hear me say, This is my soft life," you think it's just because I'm in this pretty chair and that I get to choose that I want to go work from LA for the summer. those things are beautiful, but it comes with a trade-off. And there were parts about my life, if I would have been more intentional while I was in my corporate job, if I would have had a coach that would have had the conversations with me about having my professional job and then still having my alignment, my life of a like the things that still bring me into alignment and allow me to be my full authentic self outside of my job. If I would have had those things, I might not have left my job. And yet, the season that I'm going back into, where I'm going to get a job, that is exactly the life that I'm building. More of my passion is going to be outside of the job, and the job is just for the sake of making money. I am deprioritizing that job. I'm going to go there and I'm going to work hard and I'm going to do a good job while I'm there. And yet, it is not the core of my life. The core of my life is going to be the work that I do, the things that I love outside of my job. And I think we think that one is better than the other. I actually think there's some beauty to having both until you get to the point where you can fully move into this side. And if you always have a little bit of both, is that wrong? I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe I'm crazy. Again, let's see what y'all got saying in the chat here. Okay. Ashay says, well, private education. Children can and learn. Are their buildings safe though? Listen, you ain't listen. Tell the truth to shame the devil. You right. You right. I don't know. I told you I'm not necessarily for. I don't know. There's so I just don't want to romanticize either side of it. I don't want to romanticize public education versus private education, entrepreneurship versus corporate professionals. Let's not romanticize any side of it. Let's understand there's pros and cons to both sides, and decides which version is best for us. Because it's not going to be to say the same answer for each of us. It's not. It's not going to be the same answer. If I were to get married and have kids, I wouldn't do either one. I would have my child strapped to my husband's chest, not my chest, because I ain't carrying the baby. Strapped to my husband's chest, and we're going to be on a plane doing homeschooling in Rome, where you get to see the Colosseum while we're talking about it in your studies. That's what I want. That's a whole different vibe. So if I'm going to romanticize anything, that's what I'm gonna romanticize. It's not gonna be private or public education. I always got a completely different perspective about how to do something, which is the other reason what makes me a very good dream strategist, because I could take your dream and run with it. And you be like, oh, girl, I didn't even think about that. I like that. Yes. So that's my other side of that. Um, Megan said, but she made it seem simpler than it is. I agree. While that's while that's what she meant, she did oversimplify it a bit. I agree with that, Megan. Kina said, I'm not mad at Tab. Black women are in a time where we can have group economy and labor that benefits Black women, similar to how certain nationalities gear their resources and labor for themselves. I agree. Asians do it. Um, uh, Jews do it. Like, we not do that for ourselves? And I think if we created our own economy, listen, I've always been about the Black woman economy. Um, we will actually change the whole flipping world with it. Like, if we really leaned into it, we could really change the absolute whole world with it. So you right, Keenan. I'm about that. I'm about it. Ashay says, looking for work, not to mention disability identities and navigating access. Woo! Access, please. Right. There's so many different parts to it. It's not simple. Kalia said, I need a job, LOL, but a job that fits my strengths. I'm writing a book called Death by Design: How Everyday Spaces Are Killing Us and the Blueprint to Reclaim Your Life. I love that title. Write that book, girl. Have you started pitching it already? Go pitch it. Start pitching it now. You don't need to wait until it's written. Go pitch that thing. Or if you already got a retainer, come on, celebrate that too. But yes, I love that title. Right. But a job that fits my strengths. Here's the other thing that I want to say about that. I love the idea of finding a job that fits our strengths. But let me give you a different context. If you want to start a business, here's let me tell you about how the way I'm looking for a job right now. Everybody keeps asking me, "Well, don't you want a remote job?" That would allow you to maintain that location freedom. But here's the thing about that. If I were to look for a remote job means that I'm puttering away on the computer all the time. And that is all mind work. All is it me using my mind. I want to actually save my mind for my business. If I'm giving 8 hours to their business and I want to come home and give 8 hours to my business and it's all mind work, that's a lot. That's 16 hours of mind work. Whereas if I'm working a job at IKEA where I am the security guard, that's not a lot of mind space. I could get the benefits. I get paid $23 an hour. And when I come home, I have the mind space to put all of my mind space toward my business. That's how I'm looking for a job. And I think we might need to have a little bit of a different perspective about whether our job uses our strengths or not. That job is going to use a different part of me that allows me to maintain the most important part of me for what's most important to me. Does that make sense? Am I crazy for that? But I get it. I understand wanting a job that's going to use my strengths, especially if that's the only job that I have. And yet, regardless of the job, you can use your strengths no matter what. You just have to be intentional about it. And do you really want to give your strengths? Do you really want to give your strengths to your job? Are they paying you enough for your strengths? Like, if you think about the big leap, the zone of genius, zone of excellence, zone of competence, and zone of incompetence. I want my job to pay me for my zone of competence and my zone of excellence, but I want to save my zone of genius for my business. Does that make sense? You see where I'm going with this? That comes from the big leap. So remember those three books that I was talking about. Those four different categories, zone of genius. You probably have heard people talk about their zone of genius, but that you don't hear people talk about the zone of excellence, the zone of competence, the zone of incompetence as much. But you really have to think about all four zones. Who deserves? Does your job deserve or pay you enough to compensate you for your zone of genius? That's my question. That's my thought. Let me see. Access please. Kalia said, okay, yes, I got that part. Meg said, I don't want to climb anyone's corporate ladder or be in charge of anything. I just want to do my job, get my money, and go home. Megan, I ain't mad. I ain't mad. Because you got other stuff outside of your job that you want to do. And that's what I'm about. I'm into it. Ashay says success requires multiple previous failures in business. I am 12 years in. It's a journey. It is a journey. And I agree. You got to be okay with, we've had so many years of talking about fear of failure. Um, you got to get over that. You know how many things I have failed at in life, in love, in business, and all the things. And yet it makes me better. We gotta get over our we're never sometimes it's not even meant to get it perfect. And I posted a reel yesterday. Sometimes the mistakes that you make were not even your lesson. That was Jesus using you for somebody else. You gotta be okay with that. Be okay that mistakes and failures happen. Listen, because sometimes it ain't even for you. Sometimes it's for them. Yes. Mm. Okay, let me see. Um, as Shay said, I love the pretty egg chair though. LOL, she cute. I received that. Thank you. It is the vibe. I'm excited about it. I'm enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie. Tracy said the education system is very scary for me as a mom. All of the violence, I'm worried. I'm worried, but my son is still young, so we have time. You do have time. And I will also say, choose that you you can think outside of the box. There are so many, listen, I'll tell you that. White people will be like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with that. Let me think of another way to get what I need for my kids." Do the same. You don't have to be in the same box. Take that privilege. That is a privilege that they use without even thinking about it. Take that damn privilege, okay? Let me see. As Shay said, Adrienne Marie Brown talked about that too. The separation of community, justice work, and income streams. Yes. In the realm of mutual aid and liberation, having all the money to help does matter. Excuse me. Excuse me. I do believe that having money helps change the world. Rachel Rogers talks about that as well. And yet, if if having money makes you sacrifice your peace in order to change the world, then I'm not about that. That's where the line is for me. If making money makes you sacrifice your peace in order to make that money to quote unquote change the world, that's where I feel like we're putting purpose before alignment. Let's put that cart back behind the horse and keep alignment first, and let the money come in manifestation of our alignment. And that might be you still work a job and your passion project happens on the outside. That doesn't mean that you're not getting money in for your passion project. Again, let's take it out of the box. There's so many combinations of this. Tracy said, I agree with you on the homeschooling and firsthand exposure is what I love for my son, is what I would love for my son. Yes, I'm all about it. I know some people are like, oh, but I need to create a stable home for my child. Being in the same house doesn't make your child stable. The way you and your husband operate, the way you and your husband interact between each other, and the way you raise your children is what makes a home stable, not location. Let's take that out of another box. Listen, I'm like taking everything out the box. Take it all out the box. Throw away the boxes. Okay. Looking for a job is a job. It is a job. It's an absolute job, Tracy. You right. Kalia said, I want to read your book. Goddess, come on. I know. We can't wait to see come out. Now you got to start giving us updates every week. Now you got accountability because we waiting for this book. Where's the opt-in list that's going to keep us updated on the where's your email list that we can opt into so we can get on the updates, the monthly updates about it. No pressure. Just know that we're excited for you. We're rooting for you. Know that everybody who joins your opt-in list before you have even finished this book is rooting for you. That's how you should think about it. Okay? Okay. Preacher, I should add. I'm finna save my mind space towards my business. Certified sane. Certified. Listen, I need that on a t-shirt. Certified sane. Oh, girl. Listen, I said you gonna make us a t-shirt for that? Because if not, I'm gonna write it down. It needs to be a t-shirt, a sticker. Listen, I want this in a different color. Let me go back and do that. I love that. Certified sane. We're gonna have to partner on making a t-shirt, a sticker. Come on, girl. I'm into it. Meg said, I have only heard about the zone of genius, adding the big leap to the list. Yes. You hear a lot of people talk about just the zone of genius, but there's actually four categories of zones that you need to know about. And you can start looking at the parts of you right here, right now, and putting those different parts of you into those different things. For example, detail stuff, my zone of competence, not my zone of excellence, not my zone of genius, nor is it my zone of incompetence. And so, what that means for me as a business owner is when I'm looking to hire, I want to look for someone who can fulfill the things that are in my zone of competence as someone who is that is their zone of excellence or zone of genius. Do you see how this starts puzzling out? This becomes puzzle pieces in how you create your team, especially as an entrepreneur. Maybe not so much as a professional. Maybe if you're a person that's a leader, then you do that as well. But as a business owner, you want to know what your different zones are because you're finding people to fill those other parts to do excellence and genius level work in those parts that are not yours, your zone of genius. Zones of genius, excellence, competence, incompetence. Writing that down, homies. Yes. It's it's really good. Again, that's from the book The Big Leap. Go read that to listen to it. It's really good. Kalia said, "Dreams awake. Oh, my defense mechanism is that I'd be okay if I'd never ever read it. LOL. If I have to release and hope transforms even just one person's way of thinking. Come on. My defense mechanism is that I'd be okay if no one ever reads it. I get that. I get that. And yet, you know, five of us just said we can't wait to read the book. Come on. Come on. Know that there are people that excited. Listen, I'm sending you all the confidence in that your book is going to be amazing. And even if it starts with five, you also have to understand it's just that it ain't made its way around the world yet. That's all. Once it makes its way around the world, it's gonna change so many million lives. Okay? Yes. Um, I love it. Dreams awaken. I love it. Okay. Kalia said, "Oh, I love it here." Yes, I love that you love it here. Tell your friends, bring them all. Megan said, "I should clarify. That's how the American public school system. I, of course, don't know how schools around the world operate. I get that. I get that. It's definitely, even American schools in different countries, I believe, are different. And that's okay. Listen, this is where we get to be creative where right now we think that America is the best and only way to do things, and that's just not true. That's just not true. Kalia said, and I love me some IKEA. I'm an IKEA connoisseur, girl. I love me some IKEA too. I listen, there's no other way to put it. I love too when they do fully painted rooms, like the ceiling, the walls, the doors is all painted one color, and then they use like lighter decor that way because I love a fully painted room that still has like color accents. I love color too, if you didn't know. Um, because I don't necessarily like to buy colored linens and things, but I love colored walls. My condo that I bought in Columbus, the living room was orange. Um, the kitchen was green, like a like a grass green. The bedroom was a deep red. The bathroom was like a mint green. Every room had a color. What was the office? I think the office might have been red too. I love a good color. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, I lost and I love that about IKEA. So yes, that's where I applied. I applied on Monday. And my best friend had me apply because she said their benefits are absolutely amazing and they believe in work-life balance. And I need benefits and I need work-life balance. That's what I want. I want a company that believes in those kind of things. I think that's the other thing too. If you find a company that believes in work-life balance and those kind of things, I honestly don't give a care what the hell I do at that company because you believe in the values that I believe in, which allows me to be in my zone of genius outside of this job, even if I can't give it in this job. Okay? Yeah. Um Let me see. Megan said, I'm choosing to be child free, but if I did want to have kids, I would be sure to leave the United States to raise them abroad. Megan, I'm choosing to be child free as well. And again, I leave myself open for kids, but anytime I'm dating, I'm like, listen, I would prefer that you had a vasectomy. Don't come near me with your working sperm. I need you to have sperm that don't work. But right, if I were to have kids, I would want to raise them outside of the country. Uh, Travel vibes is a part of the application to be my husband. Uh, Let me see. Tracy said, I love that certified saying. It is a good one, right? I said, listen, we need to put that on a t-shirt. I love it. OMG, y'all. I needed this. I'm on it. Yes. I'm glad that this is good. I'm excited for us to do this every week. This is a whole vibe. I'm enjoying it so much. Tracy said, girl, you sound like my mother's house. Truest West Indian woman, different color per room, yellow hallway, green living room, peach kitchen. Listen, that's me. I love color. Now, here's the thing, I don't need every room to have a color. Honestly, when I move in my tiny house, I want my bedroom to be black with an accent color, with an accent wall that has black and flowered wallpaper. I know that for sure. I know that the cabinets in my kitchen will be an avocado green. I know that my bathroom will have wallpaper in it, but I think the rest of my house will probably be white. At least the walls will be like the generally white. But there will still be pops of color. The artwork will have plenty of color. There will be so many things like this that have like big color, bold color. I'm not a pastel color girl. I'm a vibrant color girl. Like if we're gonna go color, we're gonna go all the way. So I'm into it. Let me see. Tracy says, "Sugar daddy, no commitment. Wishing for both of you." I- Listen, now in the dating world, I feel like half of the men that I meet, they're all like they're into polygamy, and I'm like, y'all suckers ain't into polygamy. Y'all just into having sex without commitment. That's all that is. That's not polygamy. I was talking to my one guy friend. He said them is just those men are just fakers. Because he said real polygamy, if you go back to the history of what polygamy actually was, he said polygamy was actually more of a burden on the man than people talk about. Yeah, they might have had multiple wives, but they had to financially support every single one of those humans. Um, and the way that polygamy actually started, when you look back, is he's another researcher. I love it about him. He's studying for his PhD, one of my best friends. He said that the way that polygamy actually started was that the woman was like, listen, I'm tired of servicing you. You need too much. You need too much. Let me go ahead and find a younger woman who could take my spot. And then he would have to take on another wife. So the women were the ones who were finding the next wife, not the other way around. It wasn't really for the man's benefit. Yes, he got something out of it, but it wasn't necessarily for his benefit. The way that Western society makes polygamy sound. Just a random thought. Kalia said, I definitely want to learn more about these zones. I think you're going to love the book then. Listen, when you get the book, we need to have a whole conversation around it. Uh, Even if you could probably just go to Chat GPT and ask him to and have a conversation with him about it. But I say listen to the book because it's the creator of it. The guy who wrote The Big Leap is the creator of it, and it's nice to hear his perspective and then like expound on that. He also has a podcast called The Big Leap as well, but I don't think he goes deep into what the I haven't I'm not really a podcast girly, so I haven't listened too much into it, but I know that it's a thing. Um, Let me see. Meg said, "Thank you, Tracy. I want that too." Tracy said, "As a mother, I'm beginning to dream about what my future home will be like a lot of land for my son to run about, and for sure, faucets that will be gold. I'm into that. The house that I live in now has gold faucets, and when you tap it, the water comes on. It's tap. It's not there's a turn off and on for the faucet too, but you don't need to. You just touch it and it comes on. It's quite nice. Except for when you go on vacations or somewhere else to somebody, if you go to the bathroom at the museum, you forget and you want the faucet to be touched and it doesn't work like that. But but yes, it's a gold faucet. It makes me happy. I want gold faucets in my tiny house too, Tracy. And And for sure, the faucets would be gold. That much I know. Building slowly, bit by bit. And here's the beautiful thing about that: you could create a separate page and just start building, like, just start putting pictures of those things on it, you know? That's kind of a little bit of what I've done with my tiny house, where I know what the bathroom, as I find a bathroom I like, I keep that picture. When I find a living room I like, I keep that picture. When I find faucets I like, I keep that picture. When I find the things that I like, I keep those things, and when I'm ready to bring them all together, I cannot wait to share that with the designer and see all of that come together. It's going to be flippin' magnificent. I cannot wait. I love it so much. There's something beautiful about recognizing that you have the ability and the power to design the life of you want. And I do not believe that you have to burn yourself out to do that. I don't believe you that you have to work yourself to death. I think there's so much space for our lives to be magical. And I'm excited that we get to talk about these things in this live stream. And I'm excited for us to keep doing this every single week. Of course, we've gone over because that's how we always do. Oh, I forgot to say, ladies, thank you for taking time. Oh, I need to change that. But thank you for taking time um to take some to schedule to go ahead and press the like button. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for doing that. I really hope that YouTube sees this video, and once I go back and add a thumbnail and a description for it, that it recognizes how to go, and I hope that it reads the transcript, to go show this to other Black women who want to join us in this conversation about around rest and fun and freedom and what it looks like to create our soft life and envisioning that together. I enjoyed this conversation so much, y'all. It's time for me to go drive Uber. I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation about Tabitha Brown and her comment. I hope that I made space for us to have differing opinions on it. I don't think we all need to have the same thought. Please know that if you didn't agree with my thoughts, you could think something different, and I'm not gonna cancel you. I'm not gonna argue you down for that. That is not what this space is about. I think it's beautiful us to share different perspectives and um get us thinking. And I think who said that? I want to say maybe it was Kalia, maybe it was a Shay that said that is definitely one of the things that Tabs does. She challenges us to think about what is our perspective on the topic. And I think that we should give her grace and not cancel her for that. So, yay! Tracy said today was fun. Thank you for hosting. Yay! I'm so happy. Oh, Kalia said, I love me a good chartreuse. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. You need to go over to Cafe Co. There's plenty of beautiful chartreuse products over there that you would absolutely love. I got chartreuse flowered shoestrings in my sneakers right now. Yes, so I love that. Please do. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. I'm so glad that this was good. I'm glad that this was fun. I'm excited for this to grow as we do this every single week. I hope that you will share this with other Black women who are looking for a space for like this. And I hope that you invite them to come and join us. I believe that we're going to do this every Friday from 4 to 6. That's gonna be our happy hour time, which is generally the happy hour time. Make sure you come with your drink, your topics, whatever topic that you want to talk about. You see, we got plenty of time to talk about all the things. So let's go ahead and come together and do it together. I'm so grateful that y'all joined me today. Ashay said, thank y'all. Thank you, Rashidad. I was slipping with my HH. Yes, I was sipping with my HH. Listen, my Hennessy was my HH. I love it. And I love y'all's company. Yes, we enjoyed your company too. Yes. Okay, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. Yes. And I will see y'all next week right here. Look, Kalia is having technical difficulties. She trying to type it out and it ain't working. Don't worry, you got time. I'm gonna have to create some clips from this. Thank y'all for taking the time to join me today. I really do enjoy you. I will see you next week right here, 4 to 6. I'll create a beautiful thumbnail for it. Maybe it'll be this, something like this. Let me take a couple smiles, something, a couple poses that I can make. I can make the Freedom Fridays thumbnail from, okay?